Hello again and welcome to Legal Lite, the eDiscovery video blog and podcast, where we discuss everything eDiscovery. My name is Matt Altlaw, CEO and founder of Altlaw eDiscovery, and I'm joining you today from the Fifth Avenue offices of Baker McKenzie, where I'm talking to Bryant Isbell, Global Managing Director for eDiscovery Services. Bryant, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Really, really good.
Good.
Oh my God, this is incredible. Thank you so much for inviting us here. We're on Fifth Avenue, New York City. What floor are we on?
18, yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Welcome to Baker McKenzie.
You're recognized as a thought leader in an expert in all matters eDiscovery. Starting out as a legal assistant in the courts in Montgomery, Alabama, this is a whole world away.
Yeah.
What led you to go down the track of legal technology?
So I think like a lot of people, I thought I might want to go to law school. So I got the job at the Alabama Supreme Court. I worked there while I was in college. Just a bit of luck that I knew somebody. And I started working at the Supreme Court, getting some experience. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna maybe go to law school, but I'm gonna get a job as a paralegal first, kind of feel it out, see what I think. So I ended up going from there and I moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, where I lived for about 7 years, and I worked for a couple of different firms doing complex commercial litigation, products liability work, that sort of thing. And it was really around the time that the federal rules of civil procedure were changing. eDiscovery was really becoming a thing. I mean, when I first started out, we did discovery by sending, stacks of documents to the other side.
We love that.
Oh yeah. Back in the paper days, we were blowing back tons of paper and sending, boxes and trucks over to the opposing counsel. But things really started to change about that time, and so we really started to use databases, and concordance and summation were really the tools du jour of the time, and so it was kind of right place at the right time. So that's really how I got into it, and nearly 20 years later, I'm still here. So
you've been here 11 years, 12 years?
I've been here at Baker McKenzie nearly 12 years, yeah.
And a few years back, you took the decision to completely in-source all of your eDiscovery processes.
Yeah. Just
when most people were talking about outsourcing. Mm-hmm. What led you to that decision?
I think it was a couple of things, really. I mean, one, I came at a time where our compliance and investigations practice group was really blowing up. So I joined with the group that was really focused on that particular practice. It was extremely busy, tons of investigations. They were cross-border, global investigations. We really needed the use of technology. We were outsourcing just about everything to external providers. And if I'm honest, what we were seeing was pretty good quality in most cases, but also we were spending lots and lots of money, and our clients were spending lots and lots of money with external providers. And it's just a straight pass-through for us. So we wanted to have the ability to really do two things. One, when I first joined, we had concordance, and that was pretty much it. And it was very difficult to collaborate across offices using concordance because it was the tool was sitting locally on a server in Washington, if you will, and then if we wanted someone to access the tool in San Francisco or London or Hong Kong, they had to do that through Citrix, remotely, and we were seeing big latency issues and just really challenging to collaborate that way. So we wanted to bring in some technology that would also allow us to collaborate more across office, but we also wanted to bring the capability in-house to give our people access to the tools and the ability to do some of the work ourselves, but also to support our clients. And so we decided that we were going to bring everything in-house. We were going to start to build up the internal capability in the practice, and frankly, we wanted to be competitive in the market so that our clients were getting, sort of the best deals available. while also getting expert, superior legal advice, so we could offer, the technology, as an enhancement to what they're getting from us already in terms of that quality legal advice. And obviously, there is a financial upside for us as a firm, because where we were outsourcing everything and passing things through to the client, now we are a revenue generating, function, and it is, very impactful for the business that way as well.
With nearly 80 offices around the globe, that's quite some task. How did you go about setting that up?
Well, I certainly can't take any credit for setting up the offices, and I think I lose track. I think we're at something like 77 offices now, but we are a global firm. We say it's that being global is in our DNA. It's part of who we are. So we have grown strategically over the years. And it is one of the differentiators, I think, for Baker. We are a global organization, but we work closely together as one, integrated firm. In terms of getting the messaging out there and making the eDiscovery and data advisory, practice available to the global firm, it's still a work in progress. With 77 offices, it's difficult to know everyone across the entire organization, but we continue to get out there and get our messaging out there. In terms of the way that we grew, we're very strategic in the way that we built out our service. We started in North America because that's where I was based at the time, in our Washington, D.C. office. I'm now based in London, as you know. But we had our first data center in North America, in Chicago, and we were supporting North America, Latin America, and some of our offices outside of the U.S. From North America. But then, obviously, we've got data privacy issues in the EU, state secrets issues in parts of Asia and China in particular. And so we really wanted to expand that footprint so that when our clients came to us, they were going to get a consistent offering, no matter where they went. But we would be able to give them the use of the same tools if they come to us in North America or if they come to us in Europe, for example. So we gradually grew by going live in the EMEA region. That was in sort of 2015 time period when we went live there, and then sort of 2017 we went live in the Asia Pacific region, specifically hubbed in Hong Kong to support that region. We have had a really robust capability for a very long time in Australia, but we've recently beefed that up, and we've also gone live in mainland China. So strategically placed data centers to be able to support our clients. I didn't mention we also have a data center in Latin America, so Sao Paulo, where we support parts of the Latin American region. So we feel like our footprint in terms of our technological and capability in our data centers was really strategic to be able to meet the needs of our clients in those particular markets where they're facing data privacy and other challenges around the movement of data, access to data, and how we will manage those kinds of matters.
And I imagine the investment must have been huge. How did you convince the firm to make that sort of investment? I mean, did you meet with a lot of resistance?
Not really, no. I mean, I feel really, really lucky to work at a firm like Baker McKenzie. I mean, we are, it's an innovative organization. I mean, innovation is really at the center of our strategy. It's important to us. We believe very strongly that technology is an enabler to the practice of law and to the ability to serve our clients. I'm very lucky that at the time the global who was the global dispute resolution chair really saw the opportunity and the need and was a huge supporter. I was lucky that we also had, at that time when we decided to go global, a member of one of our executive committee members was also a litigator and really understood and appreciated the need to go global and to have that level of support for our clients. And so we really had the support within the organization to be able to do this. In terms of cost, it's expensive, but I think people forget, Baker McKenzie is a huge organization. So with 77 offices, we already have a whole lot of infrastructure in place to run this firm. We've got a data center in Frankfurt where our SAP environment is located, and it takes a lot to run that, and things like our SharePoint sites and stuff like that. So we had a good bit of infrastructure already in place. So we had to make a little bit of investment to sort of beef that up, but for the most part, the costs were not too bad. So, licensing is a necessary evil, of course. But
don't we know it?
Yeah, exactly. But we're making it work and doing really well.
Is there any parts of the discovery process that you do still outsource?
There are bits and bobs that we do outsource. So, for example, we do have some limited collections capabilities in-house. We do laptop imaging, mobile phone collections, that sort of thing. When it comes to things like structured data, so pulling data from SAP systems, those sorts of things, we typically go outside and pull in an expert to do that. I mean, lots of times in the investigations context, you need to have forensic accountants and specialists to review that data anyway, and so we oftentimes will go out to specialists to help us with those sorts of exercises. We're not going to be in a situation where I have to put a Baker McKenzie person on the stand to testify from a forensics perspective, so we will go out to experts to get expert witness testimony, expert reports, those sorts of things. We're also still partnering with service providers and others in the industry around special technology needs. There are lots of unique data sets out there. There's lots of sort of in the financial services industry, for example, Bloomberg chat data can be a challenge to collect, to parse, and to render for review. And so we like to go out to specialists that have really sort of focused on those kinds of data sets to help us with those. So yeah, there's some things that we're going out for. But technology is also constantly changing and evolving, and new things are coming into the market. And so we're really keeping our eye on the market and what's new and available, out in the in the market. So lots of partnering and talking with service providers and technology companies, and trying to stay on top of what's new and what's happening.
So you mentioned some data centers. You've also set up document review centers, haven't you? Where are they?
Yeah, so we have sort of what we call our center strategy, but that's not actually new for Baker. So lots of folks think that this is sort of a new venture for us, but we actually opened what we call BPO, if you will, but our center in Manila in the early 2000s. That center has grown to more than 1,000 people. They're focused on mostly back office and professional business services. So we have things like client matter intake, IT, business development, marketing, communications. Those sorts of functions are offered out of Manila. Then in 2015, which sort of coincided with my move to the UK, we opened up our center in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So I actually moved to London as part of the team that was helping to open up Belfast, and also because I was expanding my team into the EMEA region. But Belfast was the first time that we have offered an alternative legal services offering. So we have something like nearly 75 people in the alternative legal services team in Belfast. We have folks that are doing large-scale document review projects, so sort of almost like a captive LPO. We have a corporate support unit that are doing things like assisting on deals, due diligence, that sort of work. There's corporate secretarial services, paralegals, and legal project management, which we have been investing in really heavily. And so for the first time, we have that alternative legal services offering out of our Belfast, Northern Ireland center. We also opened a center in Tampa, Florida, just this past year. So that was sort of, I think, December of last year. I get the the timing right. Our executive director of Tampa will kill me if I get it wrong, but it's new and fresh and really exciting. So really great things going on in Tampa. It sort of mirrors Belfast in a way. So a lot of the same services are being offered out of Tampa that we're offering out of Belfast, including the legal services offering. So we have been beefing up our capabilities there as well. I've hired some really great folks that are sort of splitting their time between the alternative legal services team and doing document review, but also are eDiscovery lawyers who have had experience working with LPOs, and so they're working on projects with us, helping with with workflows and technology assisted review workflows and that sort of thing. So it's been a really great addition to the business. And then finally, we've opened in Buenos Aires, and that was earlier this year. So right now, BA is also kind of like Manila, so just back office support right now from that center. But really the center strategy has been, we wanted to have the ability to really follow the sun. So our partners and lawyers throughout the global firm can get the support that they need from the business and professional services through the center strategy, but with that follow the sun approach, so that there's really never any downtime where they're not able to get some of the services that they need to support our clients.
So with Baker McKenzie having so many offices around the world, travel must be a huge part of your job. But obviously you told us you live in the UK. You're an Anglophile.
Yeah, I am a bit of an Anglophile. It's true.
What do you love so much about the UK?
I have loved the UK since I was a kid. Really, I mean, it's just it's a great place. Love the people, love the culture. I love the city of London, and so it just I'm really, really happy to be there and living there. Selfishly, from a professional perspective, I think it's really nice being in London because you're sort of, from a time zone perspective, kind of in the middle. Yeah. If we have to do a global call, it always seems like it's about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And some people West Coast are having to do the hardship, 4 or 5 a.m. or in Asia they're doing the 11 p.m. at night, in Australia, for example. So I feel sort of lucky that I'm right smack in the middle of time zones, and it's helpful as well, because I'm still very much involved in client matters across the global firm, and so it allows me to sort of jump into different time zones when I need to. So it's just sort of all around a great place to be.
Has your family settled well in the UK?
Yep, happy and loving life. So it's great.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, we come to this part of the show, which is my personal favourite, where I asked you to share with our wider audience something that otherwise they may not know about you.
Right.
Did you know that Bryant Isbell?
I was an opera major in college. So I had a double major in political science or government and opera performance. So I decided I'd rather be able to eat and make some money to provide for myself rather than singing opera on the street corner. So here I am, in the legal field. But yeah, most people don't know. But yeah, I was an opera singer. So in fact, we have the Baker and McKenzie Band. Is a group of partners and senior business professionals within the firm, and we get together a couple of times a year at our partners meetings, and we play and sort of have jam sessions at our big gala dinners, and so that's my musical outlet at the moment. But we have a good time. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you so much for
You're
hosting
welcome.
us here today.
Absolutely.
It's been really, really lovely.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for sharing so much.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Thank you.
So that was Bryant Isbell. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, comment, and like. We'll see you soon.